Hello, my name is Jim McGillivray and this is the Pipe Box, your source for all things piping. If you find this video useful, please give it a like and please subscribe to this YouTube channel to see more videos like this. We're going to go over a tune today, and you can print the music out for this tune by going back to the description of this video on my YouTube channel. You will see a link to a PDF there. Today I would like to do a much neglected 3/4 march with you. The tune is called Loch Maree. It's in two parts. It's intermediate level and it was written by the great G.S. McLennan. Loch Maree is in the northwest of Scotland, pretty close to the community of Gairloch. It's a long, narrow lake, the fourth largest in Scotland, and we're not sure why G.S. McLennan named this tune after the lake. G.S. McLennan, of course, was one of our greatest pipers. He was absolutely legendary as a player, a competitor, and as a composer. As a composer, he was almost unequaled, ranking right up with the likes of John McCall, Donald MacLeod, and John McLellan of Dunoon. Loch Maree was first published in G.S. McLennan's only book of music, published very shortly after his death in 1929. It's been published many times since. Let's start by having a quick look at the score and then we'll hear the tune played. The first thing you should be aware of is the slightly unusual structure of the tune. Unusual in that there is a second ending for both the first and second parts. It's the same second ending both times. You don't see that very often. Also be aware of the fact that there are lead-in notes. Most music collections would publish this tune with no lead-in notes. The left foot would be on the first C doubling. However, it is my belief and the belief of others who I respect that the first low A is on the left foot and the initial C and E are lead-in notes. In this annotated copy of the music, you can see exactly what we'll be working on. The red circles you see are eighth notes that tend not to get their full due. The blue circles are dotted eighth notes that all need to be held. And the blue boxes are areas of technical difficulty. So that's what the tune looks like. Let's hear what it sounds like. Here's the 3/4 march, Loch Maree, played on a Dagger electronic chanter. That was G.S. McLennan's 3/4 march, Loch Maree, played on a Dagger electronic chanter. Okay, let's get right into it. I want to talk to you about three main things in this tune. We can talk about them fairly quickly, but they appear all the way through the tune, so every time you play this tune you want to have these three things in mind. These three things are delineated by colors and shapes on the annotated music. There are red circles, there are blue circles, and there are blue boxes. Let's start with the red circles. Let's look at line 1 in its entirety. you will notice that the red circles are around the first eighth note in an eighth note pairing. And in each case in this line, it has a doubling on it. All the way through the tune, I've circled the first note in each eighth note pairing. Why? It seems like a very innocuous little pattern, and why should we have to worry about it? We have to worry about it because, for some reason, pipers at all levels, not just inexperienced pipers, have a tendency to come off that first eighth note a little bit early, especially if there's a doubling on it. Let me use the tune Scotland the Brave as an example. I have a video out on Scotland the Brave, and I talk about this at length. So the C doublings in the first line of Scotland the Brave. Pipers often have a tendency to come off that C doubling and play the first few bars of Scotland the Brave like this. After you play that doubling, you need to extend that C to its full length. That's Scotland the Brave. The same applies to Loch Maree. Look at the leaded notes. The very first C has a doubling on it. It's an eighth note. I put a red circle around it. Push that note out. And it appears twice more in the line. Push them all out. Okay, so push out the first eighth note in each pairing, especially if it has a doubling on it. Looking at the whole first line again, let's look at the blue circles. The blue circles are around dotted eighth notes, and my instructions here are very clear. Hold that dotted eighth note. In a tune like a 3/4, which is fairly easygoing, has lots of notes the same length, the dotted eighth notes are few and far between. So when we get to them, it's easy to just neglect them and play a very round pattern. I want you to really hold these notes. Hold the dotted eighth note as long as you can, and this following 16th note is going to be very short. You can hear how pointed I want that to be. The 16th note after the dotted eighth is very, very short. Now let's look at the square box in line 1. This is a technical issue here. We have a D grace note on a short C, and that can be problematic for a lot of pipers. I have a video out that's entirely on D grace notes played in this context. So if you have trouble with this bar, you might want to look at that video. But you're going to play, I want you to make sure you get the grace noting right in this bar. It goes from a torlua to a C with a D grace note on it, then down to a low A with an E grace note, and then back up to C with a D grace note. That may take a little bit of extra work because playing short C's with D grace notes on it can be tricky. You want to avoid having a crossing noise more than anything. Elsewhere in the tunes, we have similar patterns. If we look at bar 1 of line 2, we see the same bar again. If we look at bar 3 in line 2, we see another variation on the D grace note on a short C, but again, you're going to hold the low A there as long as you can. The C with the D grace note on it is not going to be crushed. It's going to be audible. That's why there's a D grace note on it, to make you make that note audible. So don't crush it, and avoid a crossing noise going from C to E. So those two spots with D grace notes on short Cs may need a little bit of extra work, but don't hesitate to put that work in, because that pattern appears in lots and lots and lots and lots of tunes. Okay, that's pretty much the whole tune in a nutshell. It's not a particularly hard tune, and as long as you pay attention to these three main things, you should play a pretty good tune. Okay, let's hear the whole tune again, this time on the practice chanter. That was G.S. McLennan's 3/4 March Loch Maree played on a practice chanter. The Dager recording I made earlier in this video was at 78 beats per minute. That's a good tempo for a soloist playing a 3/4 March. You could play it more quickly, you could play it more slowly. Bands would certainly play it more quickly. But that 76 to 80 beat per minute range is a good tempo for a soloist playing a 3/4. You may notice I didn't talk a lot about technique in this tune today. We have C doublings, we have torluas, we have burls, and we have rising D grace notes. It's all pretty straightforward technique, but if you have trouble with any of it, I recommend my technical tutor Rhythmic Fingerwork. It contains 144 exercises covering all pieces of bagpipe technique. There are recordings for each exercise and detailed explanations. Assuming that all the folks who send me email testimonials are telling me the truth, this book has worked very well for an awful lot of people in the last 25 years, and I highly recommend it. Okay, that's it for G.S. McLennan's Loch Maree. It's a tune rarely played anymore, so maybe you can change that. From me, Jim McGillivray at the Pipe Box, good piping.